to start us off, dude, Facebook, our boy, Mark Zuckerberg has been beefing with Apple, dude. Has been beefing with Apple. And I just like to point out, Apple and Facebook has always been beefing. They've always had beef. I don't know what it is. Marky Mark just doesn't get along with them. And I think this goes back to when they got called out and they had to go in front of like the House or whoever the fuck they were in front of, and Mark got roasted for like hours on end. I think that was about 2 years ago. What are we, 2021? I'm going to say it's 2018. Apple took a shot at Facebook saying basically like Apple's a better company because they sell products to their customers and they don't sell their customers to advertisers. So that was kind of like pretty big jab by Apple. But Apple has announced that their iOS 14, their new update they're going to roll out in 2021, is going to have like a safety, privacy, data privacy feature to where every app is going to have to ask you to opt in for them to track you and your data. And that's a big fucking hit on Facebook because Facebook, they need all your fucking data.
This is how they operate. They collect all the private information from you that they can, which, by the way, is legal because you have agreed to the terms of service by signing up for these accounts. To then sell that info to advertisers for then advertisers to more specifically target you based on your interests to try and sell you shit. I mean, we've talked about this before, but literally, what were you talking about the other day that all of a sudden you started getting ads for?
Bitcoin.
Like cryptos.
Yeah, cryptocurrency.
And for me, all of a sudden I was getting ads for, like podcast studio audio interfaces, like all over the place. Like they take your browsing history and they sell that and they use that to track you so that they're like, these companies are like, oh, you Googled one thing one time? Here's ads for it for the next 4 years.
Dude, it's crazy. They know the only person worse than Facebook, in my opinion, and I'm not shitting on Amazon, but Amazon, dude, they know what the fuck you think. I feel like they're just a step above Facebook. Facebook is really up there, and they probably get a majority of their shit from Facebook, like their data. But, dude, Amazon, I feel like, knows what you're thinking. Like that, when you have conversations and stuff, and then ads start popping up, I feel like Amazon's next level at doing that. It's pretty fucking crazy. So, yeah, our boy Marky Mark is pretty fucking pissed about this. He actually took out an ad in, I think, the New York Times saying that, trying to take a shot at Apple, saying that Facebook is doing this only to provide assurance for the small companies, like the mom and pop shops. Without Facebook, mom and pop shops are gonna get like pretty much crushed.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And Facebook even went ahead and unverified Apple on the Facebook application. So on social media, they unverified Apple. So that's pretty fucking bold and pretty fucking heated. I don't know what side I'm on either, because I really do enjoy being able to, like our podcast, we can market our podcast on Instagram, and we can literally track it down to men with beards, over 25, that play video games, that live in blah, blah, blah. We can get so specific with our advertisements. So I really love that. But at the same time, I also like my privacy. So.
And I'm pretty firmly on the side of Apple because I think, like, if they're going to be selling, like, collecting all this information, I think you at least have even if you agree to it happening, I think you have the right to know when it's happening and how much it's to what amount and to what degree. Yeah. So it's not like Apple's preventing it from completely happening, but it's like, people are going to be like, oh, well, I don't want this to, steal all my data, so I'm just going to not use this app, or I'll uninstall this, or I'll deny this permission. Yeah. And that hurts these advertisers, which, by the way, advertising, I think, is one of the most dangerous things that we're facing as a society.
Jesus.
Wow. If you play games, like, the two that come to mind are Cyberpunk 2077 and then The Outer Worlds. Both of them are, like, future, like, ultra-capitalist corporate societies where, like, ads target every, facet of your life. And it's a dangerous prospect. So I think that these advertising companies shouldn't have as much power over the people as they do. And I feel like Apple, being as high profile of a company as they are, is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so too. Plus,
whether or not it's going to do anything, it at least starts the
Yeah.
conversation.
Definitely does. I think it's a big win for Apple. Big loss for Facebook. We'll see how it plays out. And I don't know. I feel like Facebook doesn't pay for any of this data. Well, I mean, I know they buy it from certain people and certain applications, but I mean, they're mining a lot of data themselves.
You know what? Goddammit, they can pay me for my data.
Yeah.
Every time they track me, they can send me 50 cents.
Or something.
Be rich in no time.
Yeah.
For how much data they do collect.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the next couple of years. I believe the update's dropping in March for iOS. We'll see.
Some people who have opted into the beta are already experiencing it, which is why it's like coming up is a big deal right now.
Interesting.
That's can't cool. Wait. I mean, there are things you can do actively to prevent some of that data tracking already. Like you can use VPNs. Mm-hmm. There are certain browsers that refuse to allow websites to track you. I know there's like DuckDuckGo is the one I hear about a lot. There's one on mobile called Brave. That's actually the one I'm using right now. Just seeing how it is.
That's cool.
So, I mean, there are ways to actively fight against these companies that do collect all this data. Because it is a pretty serious invasion of your privacy for some of it.
Mm-hmm. I've been noticing, too, like, apps like that use your photos. So, like, Instagram, Snapchat. They're, like, asking you for you to allow them to access certain photos instead of just having your whole library. So you can let them have the whole library, or you can just select certain photos. So that's kind of tight too.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't just have your photos. If you have any incriminating stuff or private stuff you don't want them to see. So, well, anyways, that was our first topic of this week's BS.